Campaign 92, the Bush-Buchanan showdown in the South, and who among Democrats will be left standing. This new House, a sign some economic recovery may be ready to move in, and the hate slate, candidates who aim to divide and conquer. This is the CBS Evening News. Good evening, Dan Rather with a special Western edition live from CBS News headquarters in New York. Most important night of Campaign 92 so far. Primaries and caucuses in 7 states around the country. The polls have just closed in Colorado. President Bush wins in Colorado. Pat Buchanan may get in the 30 percentile. We'll have to see. President Bush leading him about 2-1. Among Democrats in Colorado, it's tight and too close to call. Tsongas, Clinton, and Brown in a 3-way squeeze in Colorado. In Georgia and Maryland, it's a split decision among the Democrats. In Maryland, the smaller of the 2 states, Tsongas won as expected, Clinton a fairly strong second. In Georgia, Clinton a breakaway winner, well over 50%, Tsongas a distant second in Georgia. In Maryland and Georgia, President Bush won, but President Bush could not put away Pat Buchanan. Buchanan racked up sizable protest votes in both Georgia and in Maryland, less so in Maryland. Among the Democrats in Georgia, Bill Clinton far and away, topping the field of 5, Tsongas way back at number 2, the rest of the pack way back in Georgia. In Maryland, among the Democrats, Paul Tsongas of Massachusetts wins what he says was a must-win to prove his credibility that he could win somewhere outside of New England. Bill Clinton, as we say, a respectable second. Joining us now for our coverage tonight with a lot of things still hanging in the balance out west, our 2 CBS News veterans, Susan Spencer at the White House and Richard Threlkeld in Atlanta. First, let's go to Susan Spencer at the White House. Susan, Buchanan strong in both Georgia and Maryland. What's the spin from the Bush-Quayle headquarters?
The spin from the White House itself is a win, and we will continue the campaign. Now, on the other hand, it's important to remember that Georgia was once where the president had hoped to slam dunk Pat Buchanan and get him out of this race. Instead, Buchanan has clearly done well enough to almost guarantee that he's going to stick with it. Our CBS News exit poll of voters in the Georgia Republican primary found more than half of the Buchanan supporters said they were sending a message to President Bush. An economic message. 78% of Republicans said the economy's in bad shape.
Bush has come in and allowed taxes to go up and the economy's going down.
Mr. Bush's flip-flop on taxes may have hurt him. A third of Republicans said that mattered. But the Gulf War and the quota issue didn't very much. Experience was the president's most successful issue. Buchanan's was family values. So the president preached family values today, promising an evangelical audience that he will veto a new bill protecting abortion rights.
Let me be clear. I support the right to life.
And earlier he told reporters that he now thinks he made a mistake when he agreed to raise taxes in 1990.
And now we see Congress talking about raising taxes again. And some in Congress are talking about trying to break down the spending caps. And so I'm disappointed, and given all of that, yes, a mistake.
One recognized too late, says Buchanan, proclaiming himself the only true conservative.
As President of the United States, I would veto any new taxes.
And this evening, the president has released a statement reacting to today's results. It thanks his supporters in Maryland, Colorado, and Georgia. Says, I feel that we are well on the way to the nomination. I look forward to taking the battle to the Democrats. But then the president talks to those who did not vote for him today. He says, I hear your concerns. I understand your frustration with Washington. I am committed to regaining your support. He has a ways to go. According to our CBS News exit poll today, roughly half the voters who voted for Pat Buchanan said no, they will not vote for George Bush in the fall. And so far, the White House really doesn't know what to do about that. Dan?
Susan Spencer, thanks. Watching how the Democrats are doing tonight is Richard Threlkeld in Atlanta. Richard, a big win for Clinton in Georgia, but a pretty good win for Tsongas in Maryland as well.
Indeed, Dan. They both got bragging rights now. Tsongas had to win in Maryland to prove that he's viable outside the Northeast. And, of course, Bill Clinton had to win here in Georgia, his first primary, to show that he could win somewhere.
We can make it, folks. Let's go.
The Clinton campaign is now hoping his big win in Georgia tonight will help propel him into the other southern primaries next Tuesday. According to our exit polls, Clinton won the lion's share of the black vote here. 74% to 13% for Paul Tsongas, although black voter turnout was light. And he also won big among white blue-collar voters, 67% to 12%. Clinton is now hoping to make this a two-man race with Tsongas, who he says is too Republican.
It was only in the 1980s that we became governed by people who said you could have growth without fairness, and now we're having a fight in the Democratic Party with somebody who says the same thing. Growth first, fairness later. Bull.
Clinton calls himself the comeback kid. Tsongas, who was counting on the victory in Maryland and perhaps later tonight in Colorado, wants to go Clinton one better.
These numbers hold out, and we'll be the breakthrough kid today.
Since Tsongas' main message is all about the economy, it's encouraging news for him that our polling shows that, like New Hampshire, the economy and health care are the issues that mattered most to today's voters. Jerry Brown parlayed his opposition to nuclear power to fashion a good showing tonight in Colorado. Neither Tom Harkin nor Bob Kerrey is expected to do well today, but neither of them is talking about dropping out. In Arizona, Bob Kerrey said just the opposite.
I don't expect to come out of this as the front runner, but I intend to stay in the race all the way to the end, and I hope to be able to do extremely well here next Saturday.
Incidentally, across the country, Paul Tsongas is doing very well among suburban, better-educated, more affluent voters, and that's a trend that could help him in some of the later caucuses and primaries tonight, Dan.
Right, Richard, and in the meantime, Bill Clinton will be selling throughout the South. Will he not, or will he, on the idea, listen, we have a chance to have a Southerner at the head of the Democratic presidential ticket this next time?
Yeah, he's got to stay here in the South until Super Tuesday. Most of the primaries are in the South next Tuesday, Super Tuesday, as you know. And now we're getting to the point where it's not expectations or, God forbid, what the press is saying, but real delegate count. And Clinton in the South has a real chance to get the lion's share of those delegates.
Richard Threlkeld in Atlanta. Washington State, Utah, Idaho still have caucuses and or primaries. We'll have an update on the primaries and caucuses later in this broadcast, and we'll wrap up all the results and give you some analysis of what they may mean in a CBS News special following your late local news. Right ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, government reports indicate that maybe, just maybe, some improvement is coming in the economy, and a dramatic betrayal at the top levels of organized crime.
With its powerful 16-valve engine, double wishbone suspension system, anti-lock brakes, and a driver's side airbag. Don't just think of it as a wagon. Think of it as an Accord, with a bit more space.
Special Accord leases are now available. See your nearest Honda dealer for details.
I get that right? Perfect.
Back in 5, Stephanie?
When you're trying to eat right, days like this are a disaster. Is this it?
Stephanie Powers talks about Kellogg's Nutri-Grain.
The only time I really control what I eat is at breakfast, and the whole grain in Kellogg's Nutri-Grain gives me a natural start. No sugar added, no preservatives, nothing fake. No matter what I eat later, at breakfast I call the shot.
Naturally good. Nutri-Grain, the natural place to start.
Federal Reserve Chairman Alan Greenspan said today he, quote, thinks the recession is over. Emphasize thinks. There's no way yet to tell for sure. But as CBS News Money correspondent Ray Brady reports tonight, there are some new signs that better times may be coming.
Chris Evans is a prime sign of where the economy may be going because of what he's doing.
We got the house that we wanted for the price that we wanted.
Evans and other home buyers sent the sale of new houses up 12.9% in January, to the highest level of sales in 2 years. That's good news, economists say, for everybody.
This increase in home sales in January is extremely important because housing always leads the economy out of a recession.
When you buy a house, you have to get furniture, appliances, and other items, enough so that it can lift the entire economy. In other good news today, the government's index of leading economic indicators, it foretells the future, jumped 0.9%, the first increase in 3 months. In Washington today, though, Federal Reserve Chairman Alan Greenspan remained cautious.
As we look ahead, there are a few hopeful signs, but at this stage,
they are quite tentative.
Why the caution? In past recoveries, the economy grew at an average 6% a year. Now, though, even the administration sees growth at a weak 1.5%. Despite that projection, there is room for optimism. In the last recession, in the early 1980s, most economists predicted a weak recovery. Instead, the nation went into 8 years of prosperity. Ray Brady, CBS News, New York.
Whatever signs of hope there may be for the economy, that hope has yet to reach millions of people around the country. From Los Angeles, correspondent Richard Roth reports on growing lines of worry.
Out of work and out of unemployment insurance, Rafael Alfaro hit the end of the line this morning and went to the welfare office, where the line stretched around the block.
You have to stand in line for about 2 to 3 hours to get inside. Once you're inside, you got to wait almost 3 to 4 hours to see your social worker.
Count him among the new poor, straining the social safety net in the biggest county in the country. 1 out of every 7 people in Los Angeles County, 15% of the population, is now receiving some form of welfare, according to figures just compiled.
I've worked for the county for 31 years, and this is the worst I've seen it. People who have worked all their lives are out of work and having to come to us as a last resort.
They're coming to county government for food stamps or medical care or direct cash payments, and the caseload's been breaking records steadily now for 20 months.
The major cause is the recession. If a person is coming in to apply for $340 a month, you know that the situation is awful out there in the community.
But state officials who've recently proposed cutting welfare benefits claim the surging caseload comes less from the economy than from social problems, such as teen pregnancy and illegal immigration.
We find ourselves in a situation with 12% of the nation's population and 26% of the nation's welfare costs.
Local officials agree welfare reform is a fine goal, but say they're facing a social emergency. And with unemployment here at 8.6%, well above the national average, many of these people won't be helped until the economy gets better. Richard Roth, CBS News, Los Angeles.
If you drive a late model Ford, you may have to drive it back to the dealer. Ford is recalling 750,000 Rangers, Aerostars, and Explorers, those cars only, to correct it.
Hey, you're home.
Thank you for a lovely dinner.
Aren't you going to ask me in? For coffee?
Well, I do have taster's choice.
Then how can I refuse?
Savor the sophisticated taste of Taster's Choice.
Well...
Just one more cup?
You said that 2 cups ago.
You know how much I love your coffee.
Then, by all means, take it with you.
Fingerman on location for the one and only Ziploc. Freezer burn. That's a chilling thought. To protect your food, there's nothing like Ziploc brand freezer bags. Ziploc has a gripper zipper, the only bag with tough, tiny teeth. You can feel it gripping, so you know freshness is locked in, freezer burn's locked out. That's a good feeling you only get from Ziploc. I gotta get some gloves. For fresh food, there's only one Ziploc.
To pull her through a nasty lunch, regular Rolaids uses an aluminum salt. But his antacid is Tums, and Tums has calcium.
Something my body needs anyway. I like that.
Calcium-rich Tums.
He was obsessed with a TV star, then he killed her. But you don't have to be famous to fear a stalker. 48 Hours, Wednesday.
A jury here in New York City heard more graphic testimony today as federal prosecutors try again to nail the man alleged to be America's top mobster. Their star witness, his former aide, a confessed hitman who says he killed at least 19 people. Jacqueline Adams is covering the mob trial.
You've seen it in the movies, but this is real life. In a Brooklyn courtroom, Sammy the Bull Gravano is violating the blood oath he took when he joined the mob, testifying against his boss, the so-called Teflon Don or Dapper Don, John Gotti. Once Gotti's right-hand man, Gravano is the highest-ranking member of the Gambino crime family to testify for the government. Today, in Gotti's murder and racketeering trial, Gravano explained how the two men plotted the 1985 murder of then-boss Paul Castellano and his driver, Tommy Bellotti. How they watched the hit go down outside a New York City steakhouse and then drove past the bullet-riddled bodies. Gravano testified, "I believe Paul got shot first. Tommy squatted down to look through the window and somebody came up behind him and shot." After 3 failed attempts, prosecutors hope Gravano will finally help them strip the Teflon from the Don.
He's been there since John Gotti came to power. He knows where all the bodies are buried.
Indeed, on secret FBI recordings, Gotti can be heard anointing Gravano as his successor, should he go to prison or the can. Still, the lawyer who won Gotti's earlier acquittals believes Gravano's testimony can be shaken.
They are paid government witnesses. And from time to time, we have proved that they will say what the government wants them to say.
If convicted, Gotti faces life in prison. To ensure a lighter sentence, Gravano decided to sing. Jacqueline Adams, CBS News, Brooklyn.
Election year summits have become a kind of American tradition in the latter part of the 20th century. President Bush announced today that he'll hold one with Boris Yeltsin June 16th and 17th in Washington. Mr. Bush has changed his opinion of Yeltsin. He now says Yeltsin has done a superb job leading Russia since the Soviet Union was transformed into a commonwealth of independent states. Former Soviet troops are going ahead with their pullout from Azerbaijan, making no effort to stop a new round of ethnic violence there. We caution you, the latest pictures from the Republic are graphic. They show Azeris massacred by Armenian militants. More than 3 dozen mutilated bodies were found over the weekend, many of them women and children. Police in Azerbaijan said today that many more were killed. In Russia, a passenger train collided with a freight train and caught fire about 100 miles west of Moscow. At least 20 people were killed, 15 injured. The passenger train was en route from Moscow to Riga, Latvia. If you're one of the millions of Americans concerned about controlling blood pressure, this may surprise you. CBS News health correspondent Edie Magnus has the results of a study on what works and what doesn't.
The study looked at people 30 to 54 who are in a gray zone. Their blood pressure isn't so high they need medication, but it's higher than normal, keeping them at risk for developing hypertension, which can lead to heart disease or stroke.
All right, show and tell.
Some tried lowering blood pressure by losing weight, others by reducing salt intake. A third group tried reducing stress with relaxation or breathing exercises or stretching.
Within this blood pressure range, what is likely to work and work well is weight loss and sodium restriction. Surprisingly, in a sense, stress management didn't do much.
Neither did nutritional supplements. Members of a fourth group took daily doses of either calcium, potassium, magnesium, or fish oil. The researchers reporting in tonight's Journal of the American Medical Association found no significant effects on diastolic or systolic blood pressure among them.
Fad diets, which involve taking large amounts of one particular type of supplement, are unlikely to be effective in lowering blood pressure.
Experts say there may be other reasons to take nutritional supplements, and stress reduction certainly is not bad for you. But it's the approaches that are harder, keeping the weight off, keeping the sodium in the diet to a minimum, which are the approaches that appear to prevent hypertension. No quick fixes here. Dan?
Edie, thanks. And coming up next, Eye on America. Tonight, the politics of hate.
We have a message for the American people. We will take back.
You know, I can still remember the very first candy given to me by my grandfather. It was Werther's Original, and I was 4. I had a little trouble opening that shiny golden wrapper, but then, well, I'll never forget that first taste. Sweet and creamy and just plain good. But there was something else, too. I remember feeling I must be somebody very special when my grandpa gave me his wonderful butter candy. So, now I'm the grandfather. And what else would I give my little grandson but my Werther's Original? He's somebody special, too.
From the frigid North Atlantic to the treacherous waters off New Zealand, from oceans all over the world comes Red Lobster's World of Lobster. Now succulent rock lobster, petite deep-sea lobster, sweet Maine lobster, in delicious combinations and at special prices you'll think the world of. Hurry in now, because this spectacular event ends soon. Red Lobster's World of Lobster.
Do you have a cold? Yes, I do. Here's 2 cold medicines. This relieves these 3 symptoms, this 9. Choose one.
I would use this one.
You chose Dristan Cold over Sudafed. Try it.
Absolutely. I feel amazingly good.
Dristan, the face of relief today.
I'm Harry Smith.
And I'm Paula Zahn. How to get help for compulsive eating habits.
An inside look at Overeaters Anonymous coming up on CBS this morning. It's breakfast for your head.
By now, you know about David Duke, the former Ku Klux Klansman running for president. But Duke is not the only candidate for office this year with ties to the Klan or other white supremacist groups. Correspondent Bob McNamara reports tonight's Eye on America, the politics of race and hate in the campaign of '92.
What do we want? White power!
Old hatreds,
Power, man!
new faces.
What do we need? White power!
Old message, new messenger.
We have a message for the American people. We will take back our land. So join the Knights of the Ku Klux Klan.
In this political season, hate is tossing its hood in the ring.
I'd love to be governor of Colorado.
At 25, Sean Slater, exalted Cyclops of Colorado's Ku Klux Klan.
How you doing? How you doing, buddy? Good to meet you.
Is ready for a run at political office.
We're more of a political party now. And look, this is 1992, and we got a battle to fight and win back America.
I'm running for state representative, District 94, which is our district.
In Memphis, Scott Shepard, former Klansman, founder of the National White Rights Association, says most American problems are really about race, from welfare abuse to affirmative action.
It's nothing more than racial discrimination against better qualified white people.
Shepard is following the footsteps of the Klan's favorite son.
When David Duke won the legislative seat, it rung a bell with me that you can win on these issues.
David Duke found success saying out loud what other politicians only whispered. Now, Republican presidential contender Pat Buchanan's tough stands on welfare, immigration, and foreign aid are encouraging those on the white right.
Pat Buchanan. I love him, man. If he gets on the ballot here, he's got my vote.
From the deep south to the far north, candidates with Klan backgrounds and ties to white supremacy groups are running for everything from constable to Congress. They're running undercover on mainstream tickets, mostly as Republicans, and they're driving party regulars crazy.
I just think that they simply carry our ideas too far to the extreme. Way too far to the extreme.
Bearden is bracing for a political season that promises the likes of Ralph Forbes.
I don't care what you say about me, just spell my name right.
A former Nazi who 2 years ago won Arkansas's Republican primary for lieutenant governor.
It's an embarrassment to have someone like him run on our ticket.
There's basically a war of genocide against my people, white Christian middle-class American people. And some of us are going to fight.
You pay the right black preacher, and you get all the black votes in that district.
Among the items on Forbes' unwritten agenda, a plan to send black Americans to Africa.
They could be a real blessing as pioneers and pilgrims going back there and saving their homeland and their motherland. And I think we ought to help them.
Power in this country. I think that's what we're aiming for.
In Arkansas's Ozarks, Klan Grand Wizard Thomas Robb plans to run for office too. In a year of political discontent, he sees a window of opportunity for Klan candidates.
The political winds in this country are definitely changing. They're coming from a different direction.
Oh my gosh, you have to call queers gay people and all that stuff. If you aren't politically correct, they want to crucify you.
We are here today in America because we love this country, love our heritage.
But carefully chosen words and a whitewashed image can't hide the old ideas.
What do we want? White power!
The old divisions that haunt American politics.
I believe we should have a white country.
White people are being discriminated against.
Homosexuals, they're not even worth talking about.
I am a Christ supremacist, and we are going to take our country back.
It's not a racist thing. It's a political thing nowadays.
In Campaign 92, the dark side is running for daylight. In Little Rock, Bob McNamara for Eye on America.
People loved the old type of granola because it was loaded with great taste. They didn't know it was also loaded with fat. Introducing a new type of granola. New Kellogg's low-fat granola for the new granola type. All the delicious whole grains, almonds, and raisins you love, but only half the fat of leading granolas. So if you like the great taste of granola, but don't want all the fat, try new Kellogg's low-fat granola. Great taste, half the fat.
Doctor.
Is it right for me? Habitrol.
It's a patch. You know, the patch.
Habitrol.
Habitrol.
You know, Habitrol. It's a patch.
It's new.
Habitrol.
Ask your doctor about Habitrol, nicotine transdermal system.
Thanks, Doctor. Our dentist recommended baking soda.
But we wanted tartar control.
Arm & Hammer Dental Care gives us both.
Now Arm & Hammer Dental Care just introduced the only tartar control toothpaste with baking soda.
And brushing with baking soda...
Or baking soda toothpaste.
...is recommended by 2 out of 3 dentists to help provide healthy teeth and gums.
Only Arm & Hammer Dental Care gives us the tartar control we want.
And the baking soda our dentist recommends.
New Arm & Hammer Dental Care tartar control.
From the baking soda experts.
Here's a sweet idea for breakfast.
Try Sunsweet prune juice for a change.
It's naturally sweet and delicious.
Sunsweet prune juice adds no sugar.
It's perfect just the way it is.
Remind you of anyone?
Not really.
This is regular. This is better. This Bayer is regular, but for headaches, Anacin is better. This is regular. This is better. This Bufferin is regular, but for headaches, Anacin is better. What makes Anacin better? It's simple. Regular Bayer and Bufferin have 1 ingredient for pain, but Anacin has 2 ingredients. An effective pain medicine plus a second ingredient that makes Anacin work better. For headache relief, get Anacin. Get better.
Recapping tomorrow's headlines from tonight's primary results, in Colorado, President Bush wins as expected, but Pat Buchanan has another strong outing. Among the Democrats in Colorado, still a 3-headed muddle at the top. Tsongas, Clinton, and to some's surprise, Brown. No winner in Colorado among the Democrats yet. In Maryland, among Democrats, Paul Tsongas tops the field as expected. Bill Clinton running a respectable second in Maryland. On the Republican side in Maryland, again, President Bush wins, but again, Pat Buchanan's protest campaign makes a strong showing. In Georgia, the first Bush-Buchanan battleground in the South, a win for the Bush-Quayle team, but another strong showing on the order of New Hampshire for Buchanan. On the Democratic side in Georgia, Bill Clinton with a very big win, way over 50% he will wind up with at a southern home base. Tsongas much farther behind, and behind that the rest of the field. The results so far on this night of 7 primaries and caucuses. Washington State, Idaho, and Utah all have results. We'll have a special report on the entire night